Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Hello and welcome to Nirmal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Kunal Shah, head of Commodities Research, joining in. Welcome to the show, Kunal. My first question coming to you is, let's start with what's happening on the dollar index. Clearly, it's a weekly high that we've seen on the dollar index so far. However, what's the kind of direction that we could see? Because 93.3 is the kind of level that we've seen. And it's mainly the advance of the pandemic, US elections, all of this is what is actually supporting the dollar right now. What do you see from here on?
Yeah, so from morning session, there are developments of Germany and France uh, is witnessing a second wave of coronavirus, and now they are going to impose stricter lockdown, stricter norms in order to battle the second wave of COVID-19. So this all takes us back to the month of March and April, where we saw a fall in oil prices, fall in metal prices. Everywhere there was a panic. So the similar fears are again resurfaced
Hmm.
with the kind of cases resurgence of COVID-19 in Europe. So now, after Europe, which is the next country which is going to see similar. So now there is again we are entering into that uncertain zone. There was no stimulus from last 10, 12 days. There
Hmm.
have been negotiation. So most likely after the election it can come, but no new fresh liquidity and lots of uncertainty on the back of COVID in Europe. So we have entered in the risk aversion. So what happens, like I explained you, the reason why I ask you is that people who are listening to this webinar, whether they are really understanding, and I'm really glad. I think Sudhir Sharma answered the question. Suraj Singh also answered the question. Raghavan also answered the question. So yes, you guys are right. The moment dollar index starts strengthening, why dollar index is strengthening? Dollar index is strengthening because people who have invested in gold, who have invested in oil, who have invested in
Hmm.
India, they are selling Indian stocks, they are selling gold, they are selling crude, and they are buying dollars where they were short. So
Hmm.
whenever dollar index starts moving up, you see this entire reversal of trade, and that is what is taking place today. So I'm not very bearish on gold, but during the day it can decline maximum by 50,500 and silver maximum by 61,200, 300. So for the for evening session, if it declines to the levels of 50,000, 500, I would slightly give. I will take a chance and give a contra call, because it may happen that US bond yields are going down, European bond yields are going down. So in a longer run, it is slightly positive for bullion. So maximum downside 50,500, 61,200, 300 for silver. Those are the levels I will again start buying it. So at that time, dollar index perhaps will be at 93, 50, 55, and I will take a call that okay, there can be a reversal. So uh, for till evening session, you can remain on a selling side, but the levels which I mentioned, from there I will take a chance and I will try to go long.
Right. So that's with regards to where bullion is concerned. What's the sense, Kunal, that you pick up, especially right now with regards to crude? Because what's happening is the crude inventory buildup is something which actually stalled the rally that we saw in between with regards, and you have the demand which has been falling. Uh, how do you sense crude from here on, and what's the range we should be looking at?
The moment there was a word new lockdown,
Hmm.
it again brings back the memory of April month for me.
Hmm.
So when the lockdown takes place, the demand of oil collapses. It doesn't take place in case of gold or in case of metals, but in case of oil, there is a clear demand destruction which can take place. And since people don't travel, people don't go out of home, the consumption of petrol, diesel, crude oil drops drastically.
Hmm.
Aviation also, industry also see a drop in demand, and Germany and France are biggest economy of Europe, and there this kind of measures is negative news for oil. 2700, 680 are the kind of levels which you can expect. I would still be a seller even though it is down by 4%. 28.10 I will sell crude oil. 27.46 or 27.60 is a kind of levels what we can expect during evening session. And there is an inventory, oil inventory at evening. So yesterday's API inventory clearly showed a sharp built in crude oil stocks. But
Hmm.
today's inventory will be crucial. If today also the inventory is higher than expected, then I think we are going to see another pressure post inventory. So, and in case inventory witnesses a draw, that rise should be again used to buy. So, my view is sell, sell, sell.
Right. So that's a sell coming in with regards to crude. Any strategies that you could offer or any outlook with regards to base metals?
Yeah, so base metal also, I will stick out my neck and say you can go short, but with a very strict stop loss. Because what is happening in base metal complex is that some of the metals like nickel, copper are witnessing supply side shortages. So nickel today, one of the big nickel producers of Philippines, which are the largest producer of nickel,
Hmm.
they announced that till the month of November, one of their major mine is off. So right now we are going short in metals because we see some risk aversion in equity market and across the world. So that's the reason we are
Hmm.
going short. But remember, China is still doing well. So with a very strict stop loss, today's high of copper is 533.35 for the November contract. So I will recommend you to sell copper with 534 as a strict stop loss, and on the downside it can test 525 to 524. Nickel, absolutely contra call. 12.10, 12.15. If the spike comes, I would like to sell. Intraday, we are running buy call. So that's why I'm giving you higher
Hmm.
levels. And you can witness 1190 to 1188 kind of levels in evening session. Even zinc, for the same reason, looks weak to me.
Hmm.
203 good levels to go short right now. Current market price 330. Stop loss should be placed around 20450, and you can expect zinc prices to go down and test levels of 201.
Right. So that's with regards to base metals. Anything on the agri commodity side that looks interesting right now?
uh, See, I think in agriculture commodity also soybean international commodity, if they are declining, it will go down. So soybean prices can drop by 100 rupees. So that is one thing. And uh, there is a question. Can you please pardon your target for?
Yeah, yeah. If you can just give your target for gold and silver for today.
Okay, I'll be very clear with the targets. For gold, 60,500 to 550 during evening session can come. So if you want to sell for 150 rupees, you can sell at the current market price. But since it is already down from 51,060, already 300 rupees down, so I'm
Hmm.
not telling you to sell aggressively. So I think you can sell around current level. If you want to sell two lots, sell one lot because it's already 300 rupees down. And silver, 61,300 to 250. These are the levels which you can see in silver. From
Right,
those levels, I will try to take a contra call and to go long.
right. And there's another question coming in with your view with regards to the dollar.
Yeah, so till the time, if there is no positive news, I think the dollar index will strengthen because this lockdown, what we are seeing is very negative. And remember, even though there are no lockdown in US, but the cases in US are also shooting up quite sharply.
Hmm.
So after Europe, US, so if you ask me, Kunal, what is the best to trade right in today's evening session, I will stick my neck and say crude oil.
Hmm.
Crude oil is looks very weak to me, and I will go with crude oil. And dollar index can go up by 93.50 to 93.60. At those levels, I will try to take contra call for gold and silver.
Right. And Kunal, overall, with regards to natural gas as well, that has been drifting lower, at least if you talk about the November, delivery contracts right now. Uh, overall, if you go to see, do you think this downward pressure is something which will continue? Because in between yesterday's session as well, on the back of the supply disruption in the Gulf of Mexico, plus you did see higher, US LNG exports. That's something which actually increased the demand to some extent, and that supported prices. Today, you are seeing pressure. So, how are you seeing the movement with regards to natural gas?
So already I have told that winter season, the restocking demand is going to come. I was not expecting 250 immediately, but it did hit. So the view is still not bearish. And gas, I think around November contract, around 240 you can buy, put a stop loss of around 237, 236, and target of around 246 to 247. The reason, one more reason is, if you look at what is happening between November and December contract, so there is a contango of 10 rupees. So
Hmm.
near month and far month is having a contango of 10. So whenever in natural gas, I've seen this pattern. Whenever the contangos are bigger and bigger, for once prices goes up, it is a sign of a bullish pattern.
Hmm.
So I think prices are going to go up. 47, 48 are the levels what we are going to see.
Right. So that's with regards to where natural gas goes. I think all the questions that have been asked have been answered. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you, Kunal, as well. And we should be back on Friday at 3:30. Thank you so much.